Real Talk with Gene Price, where we dive deep into faith and life. Talking about relationships and family too. All the things that matter most to you. Real talk, real faith, real life, with God by your side. Through the ups and downs, and helping you turn your life around. From the strongholds of every day to the blessings that come your way. We'll explore it all with the heart of grace and a focus on love in a sacred place. Real talk, real faith, real life, with God by your side.
Welcome to Real Talk with Gene Price. I am so glad you tuned in. I'm so grateful for my studio audience that is here with us today. This is going to be an amazing segment. I want to welcome to Real Talk Shaniqua Cousin. Wow. Shaniqua. Thank you. Thank you so much for being on. This is going to be a special segment because today we're going to be talking about friendship. And we're going to dive into some other things that you do, so she's amazing. We wait to hear her resume, so to speak. But the reason why I thought friendship was such a special topic to talk about, because it's sometimes the very thing that's challenged so much. People say, you know what, I can count how many friends I have on one hand. I really can, I can. But there's a reason for that, Shaniqua. So first of all, tell us a little bit about yourself, and then we want to dive into that because I think it's going to be really a deep conversation.
Well, thank you, my friend.
You're welcome.
Hello, studio audience. This is exciting. So let me start from the top, if you would. You know, I'm a Southern girl.
Yes, sure.
Born and raised Charleston, South Carolina. I reside in Maryland with my family. Veteran, Navy veteran. Mm-hmm. My love for people has taken me on a journey of being an entrepreneur. Mm-hmm. And so I provide coaching, cooking, health, and wellness resources. And it keeps me connected with people. Mm-hmm. It keeps me connected to the heart of people. And I believe it is really God working through me to change lives from the inside out. So I like to say I'm a coach and I transform people from the inside out. Whether it's cooking, whether we're sitting like we're doing right now, just having authentic conversation, or if it's just like literally sitting in my kitchen and just having a cup of tea or a cup of coffee. And so entrepreneurship really is the way that I believe God is really using me to touch lives.
Yeah. You know, Shaniqua and I met through our mentor. Yeah. I met Martha. And I met Martha through Bishop Michael Blue.
Yep.
And she came into the conference in South Carolina, and she was doing something on Darkness for Light, which is we're facilitators for sexual abuse. Yep. And Martha goes, there's somebody you need to meet. So let me put a pin here and go back for a second. Mm-hmm. I've always struggled, used to struggle in my life with finding a friend. Mm-hmm. You know, sometimes when you have that need, and it really came from not being accepted, you know, we all have a history of different things we've gone through. And I can remember, like, wow, how come I don't have a good friend? Mm. You would never know that Shaniqua and I never even saw each other face to face. We were friends for 2 years, literally, and never saw each other.
Literally.
But one of the passions that I found out that we had in common was God. Yeah. Our foundation, for me, was the thing that built our relationship. Not one day goes by that we don't encourage each other with Dion, who's not here today, through some kind of Bible verse. Mm-hmm. So friendship for me, especially in this season of my life, is more valuable than before. What is friendship for you?
Literally, it is the, I think when you have a good set of, in our case, girlfriends, it really is the heart of the matter. So for us, what connected us, even through telephone, we had not seen each other, heard of each other, anything, but what connected us instantly through one phone call, I believe it was our hearts and our passions for what we do, what we believe God has called us to do. But for me, it is the quality of the individuals. I am someone, I could find a friend. My friends make jokes about me that I can find a friend anywhere. But it's the quality of the relationships that makes it an intimate friendship. And I believe the quality of the people in your life, and that's why some people may say they only have 4 or 5 friends, is the quality and what you're bringing to the table and what they bring to the table for a particular season of your life. And I think that's what happened with us. And it is, to your point, God definitely was the connector that brought us together, and it also is the connector that sustains us. And I'm so appreciative.
So let's talk about the woes of friendship. Let's go down. That's, thank God, has not been our story. But somewhere, somebody in the audience, somebody you know, or I might know, how do you navigate through the trials and the testing of a friend? It's so many caveats to something going wrong in a relationship with friends. It could be betrayal. It could be just something that didn't work out. How have you navigated, if you've ever experienced that, how have you navigated through that?
So for me, my friends are like family. They really are. Anyone that wasn't a true friend, I'm very, very clear and concise about removing the relationship from my life so that I don't hinder them and they no longer hinder me. And so I'm very, very keen on that. I think sometimes we can hold on to things that no longer serve us for the sake of saying I have a friend or for the sake of having companionship. But when it moves on your heart to remove that particular friendship out of your life, I think it is with the utmost importance that you do that, because you're hindering your walk and you may potentially be hindering theirs. And so I make no excuses, none whatsoever, about removing friendships that no longer work for me. And I will say that I am blessed to say that I have had friends that have been my friends since I was 5 years old, even before 5 year old, because our parents were friends. And I have such great quality women in my life, like you, that the removal process is very few and far between for me. And I am so blessed and fortunate to say that. I really am.
One of the things that's important, like when you're friends, is being able to tell somebody something that may hurt their feelings.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I think we all have been sensitive in our lifetime. How important is that for you, and how has it worked in your favor when you've had to tell somebody, something that may hurt their feelings?
Well, because here's the reality. You want to bring your real self to a relationship. If you're not bringing your real self and you don't have a friend that you can bring your real self and them bring their real self to you, then what are we doing? Okay? What are we really doing? And so even if it's because you have to think about the intentionality. What is my intention of telling you, hey, Jean, that didn't work for you? Or, hey, Jean, I suggest this. My intention is to see you do well. So if you understand my intent and you understand my heart, you know that there's no malice behind it. And I'm just trying to see you do better. So you will receive it as my friend in the way in which I am giving it to you. Now, we may have people that just cut down for the sake of cutting down. Those aren't friends. Those aren't friends. And so I believe you meet people where you are. So if you have a lot of chaos going on around you, in your circle, the first place to look is within. So you're attracting what you are. So always check yourself before you check the friend, right? Okay?
Yeah, that was valuable. Because I think sometimes it's hard as human beings for us to check ourselves.
Yeah.
Or some people might say do an audit. Because it really makes you face reality and who you are. Maybe that's the answer as to why you respond the way you do. I think that is a hard reality sometimes. Because I think we can all be stubborn if we wanted to. But when you really want to see who you really are, you'll open up the pages, you'll take a good look, you'll read it and say, wow, that's me.
Yes.
But what do you do in the reality when you finally see it? What have you done in your life?
You have to act. So I'm a coach, right? And I like to tell clients, everyone is eager because it's Monday coming and I got to work out starting Monday, right? I got to get a new gym bag, new sneakers, got to get the new outfit, all of that. And they haven't cleared the clutter, though. They added on new things before they cleared the clutter. So I like to tell clients, you got to clear the clutter first before you can begin a new thing. And so when you look in the mirror and you see that something is saying, hey, girlfriend, check yourself, act now. Not Monday, Act now. Clear the clutter, and so you can get to where you ultimately want to be. So I like to tell clients also, don't add in new furniture without taking out the old. Don't add on new friendships if we haven't gotten the foundation of this other friendship underway. And more importantly, don't add on friendships if you haven't done the work within yourself. It all starts with us. It all starts with you. And here's the reality. It is so convenient and easy to place blame on other people for what we don't have, what we could have had, what we should have done, what we would have done. If only you weren't holding me back from my greatness. It's so easy to do that. It's courageous to show up in relationships and friendships as your authentic self, because you'll spark something within that person too. People look for people to be authentic. We're waiting for people to just be themselves and just show up because it sparks something on the inside of us, you know? So everywhere you go, be you. That's just it, be you. Mm-hmm.
Well, listen, we're going to take a commercial break, and we'll be right back with more with Shaniqua Cousins talking about the foundation of a friend. We'll be right back.
Let me sing. It's your love, it covers me, and you've got me under your wings. So I'll keep holding on to you. I'll keep holding on to you. You said you'll never leave me if I keep my eyes on you. I know you'll carry me through everything that I go through for the rest of my days. I know you will hold on to me. Yeah.
Heart of grace, and the focus on love in a sacred place. Real talk, real faith, real life. God by your side, guiding you through the ups and downs.
Welcome back to Real Talk with Jean Price. I am so glad that you tuned in. Thank you so much. I've been sitting here with my dear friend Shaniqua Cousin, and we've been talking about friendship and the foundation that it has, which I think is so important, as we stated before. Before we went to the commercial break, we were talking about taking a look at yourself when you're trying to build that kind of relationship that becomes meaningful as a friend. What would you say to somebody, Shaniqua, that's trying to build that kind of friendship with somebody? What are some of the steps that they would need to take? And again, every relationship is different. We understand that. Every personality is different. But what's some of the things they can do to build it?
I think step one is to understand the why. So understanding your why. Why am I seeking companionship, friendship? What is it that I'm looking to not just gain, but also give? And so I think that's step one, because if you build it with the wrong intention, it's not going to sustain itself. I think being genuine and authenticity, thank you, is so important. Like, you have to lead with that. So understand your why. What am I looking for? What am I seeking? What will make me feel loved? What can I do to give love? Really understanding that, because we can get ourselves caught up in a lot of dangerous situations if we don't understand what it is that we're going after. And having respect for yourself. Respect for yourself creates respect for others. Because the reality is we can't give what we don't have. So if you're wanting, okay? So it's like, well, she disrespected me. Well, did you disrespect yourself first? People follow our cues. So if you lead yourself into life and navigating spaces in a disrespectful manner to yourself, people will do the same. So it's really, again, it goes back to self. Understand your why.
And do your own personal audit?
When I had my daughter. Okay. So I got married at 21. I had my daughter at 25. And it literally, and I know this is going to sound cliche, but it was looking at another little black girl and thinking about all that I wanted her to see as her mother, who I wanted her to see me as, a woman that loved the Lord, a woman that was living on purpose, a woman that, had respect and admiration for herself, a woman that had found worth and value. And it really that was pivotal for me, because I wanted her to be able to not just look out in the world and see women that looked like her and women that she admired. I wanted her to see that in her home first. And that was the change for me at 25 years old. Now here at 45 years old, I feel great. I really do. I feel great. I feel like I took the time to do the work, years of work. And now I feel like I am living truly my authentic life. And it was the moment that I understood worth and value.
About that.
I think before I understood worth and value, I was just giving things away that didn't belong to other people. They didn't deserve it. They hadn't put in the work for it. They didn't even qualify, right? And so I was just giving pieces of me to people that really didn't deserve it. The moment I found out, through the Word of God, through doing work on myself, through looking in my little baby girl's eye, I found worth and value, everything changed, Jean. Everything changed. I think when a woman finds her worth and value, she's unstoppable. She's unstoppable. That's how I feel. I really do.
You know, I've had the honor and the privilege of being a part of your organization. I don't want to call it an organization because that sounds so business-like, but last year down in Charleston, South Carolina, and also in Maryland, and I watched you put together a program that was just simply amazing. And the kind of women, so I can speak to the people I've seen around you, and the kind of women that surrounded you. I looked at your community, and I said, wow. You really did take what the Word of God says. You built that. You allow God to help build you, and then you built that community that surrounded you. And it was such a great. It gave me an even healthier respect for you, because what you speak of is what I saw. I have to tell you that it was definitely eye-opening. It was amazing. It was true. How can what we do with helping women and helping girls? How can we facilitate more of that? And helping other women and girls with that, because I think that's one of the key points that's missing. We don't know who we are sometimes, a lot of times. We don't know who we are. We don't know how to build. Yeah. I love what you said. We don't know the why. We don't know what to do. So how do we begin to do that?
Well, thank you, my friend. For starters, I have always enjoyed people since I was a kid. If there was a stage, point me in the right direction. And point me in that direction, because I felt the impact of just bringing joy and love, what that does in a room, right? And so since I was 8 years old, my adopted friend and mother, Isabel, I was 8 years old, and I lived on a street in South Carolina where you were either white or you were black, but you weren't coming together, right? But we lived, or South Carolina as a whole was that way, but we lived on this one block where you had multi-race families living on one block in South Carolina. Pivotal for me, because at 8 years old, she is a 35-year-old white woman. I'm an 8-year-old little black girl in South Carolina, and we instantly became friends, and we're still friends to this day. And I share that story with you because she was able to come into my world, and I came into hers. And that was the start of what different friendships looked like for me. And so, unlike a lot of my friends that were from South Carolina, and even my sisters and my family, I didn't have to undo what it meant to be around people that didn't look like me, didn't talk like me, didn't eat guacamole, for the first time. I didn't have to undo that as an adult, because I have always been in a place where people were different. So I didn't have to undo that fear. And I would say that definitely was a start to how I figured out God wants to use me in a different way, to be a connector. So I had to have those experiences. And so I share that with you to say that sometimes it may not be in your circle. It may be outside of your circle, and you may have to open yourself up to the possibility that friendships can look different. People can look different. And when you open yourself up to that, you have the breadth and depth to connect with people. And so I guess that's really what I'm saying. I've always enjoyed challenging myself in that way. You have to challenge the norms and be around things that make you uncomfortable.
So what do you say to somebody that had a friendship, there was some pain in that relationship, whatever that happened with them as friends? What would you say to them today? Because having a friend sometimes is a risk, right?
Yeah.
It's a trust factor. I'm talking about, your girlfriends, you do whatever. But I'm saying, what do you say to that person that doesn't want to be a friend anymore? Because I believe that a lot of times things are built and framed on pain.
Yeah.
How do we help people navigate that pain? Because friendship is a great thing to have if you can once get through that pain.
Yeah. I will say just really honestly, you can hold on to the pain or you can release it and gain something different. So we can hold on to pain because it gives us we can become self-righteous. You hurt me, so I'm going to hold on to this. And so, but what you're doing unconsciously is all you're doing is adding more. You're adding more to the narrative. You're adding more to the why and she did and he did. And so you can hold on to the pain and that doesn't disqualify or devalue the fact that it did happen to you, but it does say that you no longer want to move on. You're holding yourself up. So if you do want to move on, you will act accordingly. I believe we act according to what we believe. So if you believe that everyone will cause you pain, then you're going to hold on to it and you're going to act accordingly. If you believe that that was a season of my life, I release it, and you believe in God and he's going to do whatever it is that he needs to do with that narrative, I'm moving on. I'm free. That doesn't hold me. It doesn't define me. It doesn't make me any less of a person because someone decided to hurt me. It doesn't disqualify me, right? They made a decision that impacted you. Now you can make a decision to impact yourself, and we move on. I have been hurt numerous times, and I just told you recently about a friendship that I had. Close friend. I'm talking close. Didn't even see it coming. And what I was able to do was to remove the pain from my life. It took a few days. I called you up. It took literally, it took days to get myself together because I couldn't believe the narrative, the thing, the violation. But I believe in God too much to stay stuck on a friendship. Someone that decorated themselves and made themselves look like something, put on the perfume, the earrings, everything, and presented herself like a friend. And she wasn't. So what I had to do was believe what she did, and I had to move on. Yeah. Why would I stay stuck in the situation? That person is moving on, and then we'll get an attitude because we'll see them smiling or something, and you're just mad because the person is smiling, but we're stuck, so we're holding ourselves up. And so believe the pain, but believe in God even more.
Right. That's
yeah.
So good. Yeah. So good. I want to pivot just a little bit. I want to talk to you about who Shaniqua Cousins is, who literally works at the Pentagon. Literally just got a fabulous promotion.
Yeah.
She's so excited. She works at the Pentagon. She's on somebody in Washington, D.C., Fox, cooking as their chef. That's another thing that she does. I want to talk about that side of Shaniqua for a few minutes.
Yeah. So by day, I am definitely a government employee. I was in the Navy, like I said, and transitioned into civilian life. And so I'm a federal government employee. And yes, I just got stationed at the Pentagon just like a week ago. And so it is so exciting. It's so I am just humbled. I really am. I am humbled to be walking the walls of the hallways of the Pentagon. It just is a fabulous opportunity. And still supporting our Navy. And then, like you said, yes, Fox 5 DC. I am excited to be there cooking and sharing my love for wellness from the inside out and showing people how to take and make meals, not just about the ingredients, but about an experience. I think food is a connector, and food brings people together. So after doing 75 cooking shows on my own, Fox 5 picked me up to participate in segments, and I am like so excited. But the point, and the reason I said the 75 is because I think with all things, you got to put in the work. People meet you where you are. So don't expect friends, coworkers, partners to do something for you that you haven't done on your own. So bring your full self to the table. So by the time Fox came around, I was promoting the conference that you mentioned earlier, and I wanted to go on to promote the conference. So they said, well, you have sponsors. Don't think we can promote the sponsors. What about cooking? Say less. And then on top of that, they said, it's going to be an hour. Are you sure? Can you do an hour? Say less. I had done 75 shows for 1 hour a piece for 3 years. So by the time they came around, I was ready. I was ready. And I think that's what you have to do in friendships. Be ready. Be yourself. The people will show up. They'll show up. Whatever you want in a friend, be that first. Be your own friend. Be the best coworker, the best leader, whomever it is, and then the other stuff will just show up, you know? So I'm excited.
In the interim of all that, Miss Chef, Miss working at the Pentagon and all that, you also wrote this cookbook.
Yes, I did.
So tell me about your cookbook.
So my latest project is Flavored with Love. Everything is based on love for me. And so it's not just a cookbook, but I've talked to people about how to shop the grocery store, how to read food labels, how to read food labels, how to bring a family around a table. I talk about my Southern roots, growing up in Charleston, South Carolina, share some of my mom's recipes and my grandmother's recipes and things that I've learned along the way. And then I also have my own olive oil. I do. I'm excited about that olive oil.
And I have eaten some of her food with the olive oil, and it is really good.
Thank you.
And it's beautiful because guess what? Somebody's going home today with her cookbook and
olive oil.
And the olive oil. So I don't know who it's going to be. But somebody's going home today with it.
Right here.
I'm not just saying it because we're friends. She is a phenomenal cook. So I said to you, you need to cook it because she'll send me pictures and videos. Can you just box it up, put a little ice in the box, just send it up to New York? Phenomenal cook. You have made so many great strides in life. And I know the greatest one of all is your daughter. Yeah. Tell us a little bit about Jada.
I love her personality. She is herself. She is herself. You can't be around Jada and not feel like, I need to just be myself. And I've learned so much about who I am through her. And she's a film major. She's currently in college. And so she just turned 20 a few weeks ago. Back in September. This is when I felt like I had done a good job. She walked into the kitchen and she said, hey, I'm working now, Mom, and now that I'm 20 years old, when we're taking domestic trips, I'll pay for my flight. Thank you, Jesus. Right? It's like little things like that are just her, who she is, taking responsibility, navigating the world the way she sees it. She doesn't take on anything that you may think about her, care about her. She doesn't take it on as true for herself. And I think that's what we should do. I really do. I think that the way that younger people are so courageous, I think as adults, we can learn a lot from them if we are really open to it. And I just love her. I really do. I just love her.
Tell us about your upcoming project.
Oh, I'm so excited.
I know you are.
So my upcoming project is called Live Well. So it's cooking, coaching, health, and wellness all in one book. And I'm launching a tour. So I'm going to be going through to New York, Cali, New Mexico, South Carolina, and Maryland. And the project really is about living well. It's about not just eating, but how we look, how we feel, how we experience life. And it's to encourage people to truly live life well. Live life well from the inside out. And so it's a cookbook along with a lot of inspirational notes and tips and hacks for living life well.
Well, I want to thank Shaniqua for being on Real Talk. Listen, she really is unstoppable. And I love the fact that you allowed the grace of God to carry you all the way through. So we haven't even seen what else Shaniqua has in store, but thank you so much for being on Real Talk with Jean Price. Look for Shaniqua. I'm telling you, she's all over social media. Look for her. We are about to see this young lady be everything that God said she was going to be. Thank you, thank you. And to my viewing audience, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for being with us tonight. Thank you.
Dive deep into faith.